Hi everyone, Adrian from Audio Excellence Canada. Hope you're all doing well. So we're really excited. We finally got our shipment of the Sonus faber Lumina 5s. Now I ordered a whole bunch of pairs. Unfortunately, we only got a pair in. That's partly due to the tremendous, I guess, popularity of the speakers, as well as the fact that the factory is having tremendous difficulty in materials, getting enough materials to make the enclosures, according to Paolo. And if, by the way, you haven't seen my interview with Paolo, Jerry will link the video in the description box. Anyway, here we go. So this is the Lumina 5, fresh off the boat, literally. So like Macintosh, they are sealed with a Sonus faber tape. So that's how you'll know whether it's brand new or it's been opened before. And also, if you notice on the box, it says made in Italy. Very cool, right? So even the least expensive speaker line is also made in Italy by the same people, by the way, who make the rest of the speakers in the Sonus faber lineup. Okay, this is finished in black. By the way, these are also, the Sonus faber Lumina 5 is the top in the range. Okay, so I think that's the top because I can see a cardboard piece right there. I'm going to stand this up. Easier said than done. Okay. And let's see, I believe these are the spikes. Yes, they are the spikes. Okay. Go. And that's what they look like. This is finished in black piano. What's nice is that they've put a piece of very thin foam between the magnet and the finish so it doesn't mar the speakers. Okay, so there we go. What's nice about this finish is that, or what's nice about the Lumina is that it's designed to be very simple, very elegant, very minimalist. But as a result of that, it shows off all the little design details, like, for example, the chrome rings around the drivers. And of course, the black piano also shows off the contrast really, really well. The Lumina comes in 3 finishes. We've got one here. This is the Lumina 3. And that's in the walnut finish. I don't know if you can capture that. And up front, we've got the Wenge ones, which will show, well, I guess Jerry will insert it and show you what it looks like. So if you want to take a look at that. I like this finish because it highlights the multi-layer wood, or you can call it plywood. I assume it's plywood. And then the leather or leatherette finish comes off across really well as well. But certainly this looks very elegant. I normally don't like black piano because it's so boring. Everybody's got black piano, but this really looks very sharp. And of course you got a plinth. Let's starting from the bottom. The speakers are, I guess, a 3-way. You've got, these are all custom designed, custom made drivers specifically for Sonus faber. They're also either directly used in the Sonetto series or designed so that they are similar to the Sonetto series. So the tweeter And the mid-range is from the Sonetto. I believe these ones are designed for this particular width, using the same materials as in the Sonetto series. So it has the same Sonetto characteristics: sweet, warm, dynamic, great detail, but without sounding bright, and yet at the same time in a simpler enclosure, so it doesn't cost as much as the Sonetto series. What's also interesting, which Jerry will insert a picture of, the mid-range high-frequency enclosure part inside is actually shaped like a lute. So the lute shape allows the internal enclosure to be very strong because you've got compound curves. So anytime you have a curve, it's stronger than just a rectangle. And also at the same time, it minimizes standing waves when the drivers are playing loud. For example, the mid-range driver is playing hard. The internal standing waves don't come back out. It's minimized, I should say. It wouldn't be like playing billiards and the pressure keeps bouncing back and forth like that. And so let me put the screws on. It also comes with these floor protectors. So if you've got hardwood like this, you won't make holes in the floor. Which I'm going to proceed to do right now, to make holes in the floor. By the way, while I'm doing this, this is the patented tweeter from Sonus faber. One of the challenges of soft dome tweeters, well, let me talk about the benefits of the soft dome tweeter first. Many companies are now using soft dome tweeters, silk domes, because it has a very natural, beautiful, sweet sound, quite extended, not necessarily as high in the high frequencies as, let's say, a beryllium or a diamond, but it also doesn't have the harshness that some or many of the beryllium tweeters have as well, or metal dome tweeters. The difficulty with the soft dome is that at very high frequencies, they start breaking up, and so you don't get extremely high frequencies. In early experimentation, Sonus faber discovered that if they were to put a little tip right against the natural apex of the silk dome, just by touching it, they were able to have the soft dome extend even higher in frequency, maintain its very wide natural power response. So in other words, you get the high frequencies, you get the detail, you get the air without the silk dome breaking up. So that is their patented design. And you can see this little arch here. They call it the damped apex dome. So this little arch here has like a diamond tip or an arrow tip on the other side, and that tip touches the tip of the tweeter. And again, that's something that Jerry will insert a picture of so you can see what it looks like. The other thing that's also very nice, I just noticed this. This is a very soft material that surrounds the tweeter. I don't know what it's made of. It feels like it's rubber. It's very nice. Very elegant. It also says Lumina on it as well. Now as I'm finishing this, I'm going to turn the speaker on its side so you can see something very important. Okay, let me just... Okay, so Jerry, if you want to take a shot of the bottom, I don't know, can you see that? Mm-hmm. Okay. This speaker is ported at the bottom, so you must use the spikes. Now, if you've got a carpet or a hardwood floor, use the floor protectors so it will not damage the surface. But it is important to use the spikes because the port comes down from here. And the reason that they've chosen to put the port at the bottom is so that you can put the speakers closer to the back wall as opposed to having a port behind the cabinet, which means that if you were to have the port behind the cabinet, you might get a little bit too much bass or boominess or chuffiness. This way you don't hear that, or it's certainly not as obvious or not as badly otherwise by putting it at the bottom. The other thing to note also is that in a lot of cases, speaker manufacturers will save money by not finishing the bottom as nicely, and yet you'll notice that the finish is the same as the top or the sides. So it's just really well done. Typical of this company. Every little detail is looked into. So even here, if you look at the relief, it's very nice. There's no uneven gap. It's just really beautifully made. And then finally, if you come to the back, show you. They're using nickel-plated binding posts, so you can buy wire or buy amp the speakers. And let me give you the specs while I've got the details. Okay, Lumina 5 is $27.99 US dollars. Three-way, uses leather or leatherette. The drivers in this case are natural paper / pulp and silk for the tweeter. I talked about the internal structure of the mid-range and high frequency being lute shaped, which is the same as the rest of the line. So for example, if you look at the Sonetto, this is the lute shape, and this is what it looks like on the inside of the cabinet in the mid-range and high frequency chamber. Tweeter is 29 millimeters or 1 inch silk dome, 150 millimeter paper cone or 6 inch mid-range, and 165 millimeters or 6.5 inch sandwich diaphragm woofers. So this is in the front and the back of the material or the cone. It's actually using paper pulp, and then it's bonded to a syntactic foam. So it gives it rigidity and tightness, while at the same time still sounds very natural because they're using natural materials. As I mentioned earlier, you've got 3 finishes: black piano, walnut, and wenge. 89 dB sensitivity, 4 ohms, and the dimensions are 1049 millimeters high, 280 millimeters wide, 372.6 millimeters deep, or 41.3 inches high, 11 inches wide, 14.7 inches deep. It weighs 22.5 kilograms or 49.6 pounds. So I'm actually very looking forward to these speakers, because the Lumina 1s, 2s, and 3s so far have been absolutely outstanding. We've listened to it now at length, and they've sold like crazy. I'm absolutely impressed and amazed by how well they've been doing. So hopefully, if you like these speakers, hopefully you get a chance to hear them, but be prepared to wait a little bit, because back order is quite bad. Anyway, we'll see you again next time. We'll be doing a lot more of these unboxings because we've been getting a lot of speakers and products recently, and I decided that we'll just do more of these. If you don't like them, don't watch them, but hopefully you will. And of course, subscribe, turn on notifications, share, comments, because the fact that you support us, the money that we get, we match it and we donate it to the Salvation Army. And in fact, this month, because it's Thanksgiving in Canada, the money will go to the Daily Bread Food Bank. So thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.